Hello everyone. If you've been following my bicycle videos, you know that some time ago that my bicycle had a inner tube tire puncture and my tire deflated. Now I had chosen to replace it rather than patch it up, which I did successfully. You know, it didn't cost that much money, and my feeling was it was probably better to just replace it than have something that was patched up, which might have other, you know, vulnerabilities. And what had happened is I had been out, and then I had came home, and that was when my tire suddenly deflated. So even though it was a little upsetting, I was thinking, well, it was nice that it happened conveniently at home, but it got me to start thinking, well, what happens if I'm out on an errand or doing a bike trip and my bicycle gets a boo-boo, you know, and needs a repair, you know. So I started looking online for bicycle repair kits, and I found one on Amazon that I liked. That was $16.99, called Sahoo. And I ordered that, and it was supposed to be for all bicycles. Now, I was a little worried because, you know, when they say all bicycles, I don't know if they're always thinking about all bicycles. I think a lot of times when they're, a lot of these products, they assume that if people are going to be bicycle enthusiasts, they're probably going to be the ones that have those, you know, more expensive bikes, you know. And I don't know if they think about people like me who go around riding on little huffy bikes. So I wasn't quite sure it was going to meet all my needs. But it looked like a nice set, and primarily what I wanted was an air pump and the tire patches. You know, that was pretty much what I wanted. I didn't realize when I ordered from the place that they're in China, you know, but it took me a month to get this. And then that raised another concern, is that even though we have a lot of stuff that's made in China, the stuff that they make of our stuff and their own stuff that they sometimes sell to us, their metals are not always as refined or as strong as ours. But this actually turned out to be a very nice kit, and I did think it was a good for the price. I mean, eventually I might look for something a little better, but for right now, you know, the weather's about to get mild. I'll probably want to resume my bike trips pretty soon, and this will put my mind at a little more ease than going out all alone and possibly having, you know, without it, and not having something, you know, to repair my bicycle if I do have a problem. I recommend that if you're a first-timer, that you should always test out your bike kits, and, you know, and make sure you check them frequently to make sure your rubber glue hasn't dried out. But I really would stress, you know, testing it out for the first time, because, like I did mine. For one thing, it'll tell you if the kit is missing anything that is not for your, you know, that your bicycle needs. But also, if you go out there and, you know, it's probably going to be pretty stressful if you get a puncture, and you don't want that to be the first time you try doing a repair. So I recommend doing a test, you know, testing it at home when you're not under the gun, so to speak. I kept my damaged inner tube, and I did a repair, and I did that successfully, so I was very proud of myself. Anyway, so as for the actual thing, okay, first of all, it comes with a handy carry case with Velcro straps so that you can attach it to your bicycle. And, you know, the inside has little, which you can't unfortunately see because it's all black. But anyway, they've got a little elastic holders for you to, you know, so it keeps your stuff secure. Here is a kind of like a Swiss Army knife. And it comes with a lot of tools. What I was really pleased with is it comes with a lot of varying sizings of L wrenches. And it's got a Phillips head and a screwdriver, and it's got socket wrench, these guys, which can attach, that's not the biggest one, I don't think. Anyway, they can attach to the let's see, which size do you go to? Ah, there we go. They can detach here. And then they got the little carrying case. I wasn't sure what this was for, whether it's another wrench or it's just a ruler. Now, these are actually, when I was talking about, like, it may not have everything you need for your bicycle, these fit the smaller screws of my bicycle. They're 8 to 10 millimeters. But my bicycle needs a 14 millimeter and one larger screw. Oh, is it a 16? It's kind of rubbed off. Okay, my bicycle needs a 14 and a 16 millimeter. So I'm probably going to have to bring along my own socket wrench because this doesn't meet all of my needs. But fortunately, there's enough room in the carrying case to actually add a few tools. So, that's this, and the metal does seem pretty strong. At first I was a little worried because most of the time I prefer to use tools that I can use from the side. That's why I really like offset wrenches and socket wrenches, because when you don't have a lot of upper body strength, it's actually a lot easier to untighten things or tighten them from the side rather than a lot of times doing them from the front. But I did use this on some of my smaller screws, and actually it did work very well. The metal didn't seem to bend or anything, so it's actually a very nice tool. I came with, oh so hard to see, but I've got 2 tire levers that came with the kit. And this is another type of wrench that seems to be made for socket wrenches. Again, not the sizes it seems for the 14 and 16 millimeters, which I do need, but it's still pretty handy. Then we got the, hold on for a minute, I'm going to take all this stuff out. Okay, so you got this little carrying case. Whoops, sorry folks. You got the carrying case. You got this piece that's actually sandpaper and maybe a spreader, but sandpaper too. You do need sandpaper. Comes with instructions that fortunately were pictures. The other instructions for the air pump had pictures, which I was glad because the instructions themselves were in Chinese, which I can't read. Some rubber, and make sure if you go out that you have a little thing to puncture the little thing in, and maybe something to wipe off your hands too. Then we've got patches in 3 sizes. And last but not least, the air pump. When I first saw this, I had my doubts whether it would actually work, but it does work. It takes forever, but it does work. It's got a little, alright. It's got a little carrier at the back here. And this attaches to the front. Now, this is an attachment for if people, I don't know what you call that little thing that sticks out that you attach air pumps to, the inflators to, but this is for smaller, little nozzles. Mine was a lot bigger, so I just attached it directly. But it does, and how it works is you do this. And it does work. It takes quite a bit of time, and unfortunately it doesn't have an air gauge, but it does work. So I'll probably at some point try to look for something that's better, but this does at least put my mind at some ease. As I said, there is enough room to add a few things that I may want to carry with me, but otherwise I'm pretty pleased. And it did work. I did, as I said, I did do a test and repaired my old inner tube. I'm not planning on using it, but I inflated it. The patch held, and so I was very proud of myself. Anyway, 9 minutes is a pretty long video, so I'm going to end it here. Stay tuned for more videos.